field athletes are something special. They compete alone, and yet they're very much a part of a team. And in the PAC-10 conference, these competitors are often the country's, indeed the world's, best. Today, they're coming together in the sport's most hallowed shrine. It's the PAC-10 Track and Field Championships, presented by 76 Quality Pro Clean Gasolines. And it's next on FSN.
And our first race on the track here at Hayward Field, the men's 4x100-meter relay. Dwight Stones along with Tom Fuhr. A beautiful day here in Eugene, Oregon. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s. A little bit of a breeze as we look at the PAC-10 and Hayward Field records for this 4x100 meters. Just 1/100th of a second separating them. Those two great teams that have contested that race. Here are the lane assignments. Lane 1 is open, and you can see in the middle of the track the University of Southern California, probably the favorite on paper, Tom Fuhr. And this USC team can run with anyone in the country. They will be a factor at the NCAA Championships just a few weeks down the road. And anchoring for the Oregon Ducks will be Jordan Kent, that fourth and final leg. As we look at the leadoff runner.
Yeah, the leadoff runner for Oregon is going to be Richard Del Rincon. And Del Rincon had a brilliant performance in the heats yesterday in both the 100 and 200 meters.
And they are off. Watch for USC in the middle of the track in the white. Decent exchange for the Trojans as they now work down the backstretch. Philip Francis waiting for USC out there in lane 7. Washington moving nicely, and Washington looking very good. But here comes Philip Francis around the corner. Oregon in hot pursuit. And a decent pass for USC. It's theirs to lose. But here comes Jordan Kent on the inside in lane number 3. It is Oregon, and they are going to upset the Trojans. Jordan Kent for the Ducks runs a brilliant straightaway with that breeze behind him and takes the measure of the favored USC Trojans in the opening event 4x100-meter relay.
And of course, Dwight, Jordan Kent is a 3-sport star at the University of Oregon. Caught a touchdown pass during the football season, provided some great bench support in basketball, the son of Coach Ernie Kent. Now here you see the final exchange. USC had the lead out there in lane 5, and then here comes Jordan Kent right here. And he surprisingly runs down USC, although USC's anchor, Roy Alugbu, is not their best guy. And there you see Ernie Kent, the coach there on the left, and very happy with that performance. We're going to see Jordan later at the 200, and behind Ernie is Phil Knight.
Well, you do not want to get this Oregon crowd too excited, and this is only the first event. The Oregon Ducks winning the opening event, and we will be back with more.
The season's greatest games unfold on Fox. Carlos Delgado and the revamped Mets have something to prove to their crosstown rivals. But Derek Jeter and the Yankees are out to show that they still own the city. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week on your local Fox station.
I am so tired of overpaying for health insurance.
Wow, I pay a lot less, and that covers me and my family.
If you're self-employed or an individual looking for affordable health insurance for yourself and your family, do what I did. Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for a free quote.
I got individual attention from a licensed Mega Health agent who tailored a plan to match my needs and was way more than affordable.
And unlike those questionable discount plans, this is real insurance. I got better coverage at a better rate, and I can choose my own doctor from their extensive network.
Now get this, you can't be singled out for a rate increase or cancellation. So, do what I did.
Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for your free quote. You have absolutely no obligation except the one to yourself, your family, and your business.
Call 800-646-6105 for your free Mega Affordable Health Insurance quote. Call 800-646-6105.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
Put your computer to work now.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
I'm making $5,000 a month.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
Log on to 38venture.com.
You're watching the PAC-10 Track and Field Championships, brought to you by 76 Quality Pro Clean Gasolines, the official gasoline of the PAC-10 Conference. And by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA and the PAC-10. Proud sponsor of today's PAC-10 Track and Field Championship event. See the all-new Pontiac showroom at your local Pontiac dealer today.
Welcome back to storied Hayward Field on the campus of the University of Oregon. A breezy but beautiful day here for PAC-10 Track and Field. Dwight Stones along with Tom Fuhr. And Tom, looking forward to the events today. The 1,500 meters, really a pivotal event for the team title.
Well, this stadium, Hayward Field, is known as the Carnegie Hall of Track and Field, and I expect some theatrics in the 1,500. It will be perhaps where the team title is decided. Robert Chesaret of Arizona going for a triple win. This is number 2. And Tomas Babishkevich of USC will need to get some significant points because the Trojans are the ones that are in the catbird seat right now.
Now, if that doesn't determine it, the 5,000 meters, the penultimate event of these championships, could really tell the story.
Well, if it isn't USC, it's going to be Oregon. And Galen Rupp, the pride of Eugene, Oregon, the heir apparent to the great distance tradition. He will go up as Chesaret goes for his 3rd title in that 5,000 meters. And on the women's side, Arizona State, whose vaunted distance program went 1-2 in the 10,000, 1-2 in the steeplechase. They could go 1-2 again in the 5,000, and they are the favorites to win on the women's side, their first ever Pac-10 title.
Let's take a look at the team scores as we enter these final events. Arizona with a 9-point lead right now, but lots of events left to contest. UCLA lurking in the background, but watch for Oregon. And on the women's side, Arizona State, as Tom said, they're meat to lose, but Oregon in front of the home crowd. Stanford, of course, lurking there in 3rd place. Next event on the track, the women's 4x100 meter relay. Here are the Pac-10 and Hayward Field records. And in lane 4 of this final, the Lady Trojans of the University of Southern California, Ginny Powell, Candace Davis, Jessica Juponka, Carol Rodriguez. Really, again, Tom, their event to lose. You have to watch for the stick passes and passing in the zone, but from a standpoint of times coming in here, they are the best on paper by a long way.
No kidding, and they're the 2nd fastest team in the country right now behind Texas. And in Virginia Powell and Carol Rodriguez, you have 2 of the best sprinters in the country. Also want to point out that Virginia Powell has RF painted on her face to honor the death of Ryan Francis and his number as well, who passed away in a tragic accident. So USC is dedicating the meets, and you're going to see a lot of people today from USC with RF on their faces, on the other side of Ginny Powell's face here.
Powell, of course, a world-class hurdler, indoor NCAA champion at 60 meters and 60-meter hurdles, and a world-class competitor at the 100-meter hurdle distance. Pretty good way to get your relay started, I'd say. Washington, UCLA, USC, Stanford, Cal, Washington State, and Oregon. And Stanford moving nicely in lane 5. Powell looked a little choppy there. Oh, a very poor pass by the Lady Trojans.
Terrible pass, Dwight. Now they got a lot to make up here. Jessica Anya Panuka doing her best to catch up to Stanford right now.
Stanford right now leading by quite a bit. This would be a huge upset. Stanford out there, SC trying to get back into this.
Candace Davis on the 3rd leg, Dwight. She's a terrific hurdler, but USC's got a great anchor in Carol Rodriguez.
And they are back in it. There is USC after the troubles early in the race. That first baton pass, they do win easily, but Stanford gets the 8 points for 2nd place. USC going to need to work on those baton passes between now and the NCAA championships, but 10 points for the Lady Trojans in an event that they really could not afford to drop.
Absolutely, and Carol Rodriguez very, very good on that anchor leg. They had some troubles. You can see the RF on her face. And Stanford, As you can see, they took off at about the same time. Nice pass there from Davis to Rodriguez. And from that point in time, Stanford's Alana Walker has no shot against Carol Rodriguez. It's interesting how some of these teams are putting here's the home stretch look. You can see Candace Davis cheering her teammate on, and Carol Rodriguez, much faster turnover than Alana Walker. But Alana Walker is probably the weakest runner on the Stanford 4x1. And Carol Rodriguez could be on the Puerto Rican Olympic team in 2008, Dwight. She is a dual citizen.
Well, Candace Davis, the third leg, really made that happen. As I mentioned, Virginia Powell.
And there's their face painted number 12 and RF for Ryan Francis there.
Unofficially 43.81, a pretty good time considering the poor pass. So they could contend for that NCAA title against the Lady Longhorns of Texas. Let's take a look at some field event action. First, the men's long jump, a very competitive event from day 2. Jesse Williams, a triple threat in high school. He won the high jump, that's sort of the primary event, but he also was 5th in the long jump, 5th in the 300-meter hurdles. He has really made himself known this last couple of years in the long jump. Usually a terrible combination to be a high jumper and a long jumper, but he manages both well. Look at that great height he gets off the board. 24.10 for Williams and 6 points for the Trojans with his effort.
And Dwight, the big story here in the long jump besides Jesse's performance was Norris Frederick, a high school star in Washington, now a sophomore at UW, looking for the breakthrough performance of his college career. It came on his 6th and final jump here. 25 feet 10 inches, a wind-aided jump. Like Jesse Williams, Norris Frederick is a 7-foot high jumper as well, and a very, very fine performance for the Huskies to get 10 points there. And then this is Jordan Powell of Arizona. He was in the mix with the other two all day long. And Jordan Powell, another dual competitor in the high jump, he spanned out to 25 feet 2 3/4 inches to take second.
So Frederick over Powell. By the way, Powell, no relation to UCLA coach Mike Powell, still the world record holder in the long jump. And this is how it worked out. All wind-aided jumps. Norris Frederick of Washington wins it. Powell for second, Jesse Williams for third. We'll see him later. In fact, all three of them later in the high jump. And we will be back with more Pacific 10 Conference Track and Field Championships from the campus of the University of Oregon right after this.
A lot of reflection and soul-searching went into this decision. So it is with great excitement that I announce my commitment to Fox College Sports.
Okay, Reggie, do you deny that you receive over 800 live college events?
Let's just say it's gonna look mighty nice on my 52-inch widescreen.
We are back! Join us every Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern to talk about the leagues that we care about the most.
We'll discuss who's hot in the EPL and MLS, and we need you to get involved.
So give us a call toll-free, 1-866-FOX-FANS.
Or email us at foxfootballfriday@foxsoccer.com.
We're Nick and Stephen from Fox Football Friday.
See you every Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern on Fox Soccer Channel.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
X marks a daring pursuit of the unknown. Unpredictable. Unforgettable. X marks questions that need to be explored. Stories that need to be told. X marks the destination for adventures so gripping you never let go. X marks Explorer. Sundays. Only on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore.
Back in Eugene, Oregon at Hayward Field for more of our coverage of the Pacific 10 Conference Track and Field Championships. The next event on the track, the men's 1,500 meters. Rudy Chapel holds the Pac-10 record. It's getting old now, 27 years old. And Alan Webb setting the field record here a couple of years ago at the Prefontaine meet. Here are the entries. There are 12 of them, but most notable, Robert Cheserette of Arizona, the finally senior who tripled 2 years ago when this meet was in Arizona at his home school, winning the 1,500, the 5,000, the 10,000. He's already won the 10,000, going for the 1,500 and 5,000 here today, Tom.
Yes, and Cheserette has won 6 Pac-10 titles in his career, one more, and he breaks Martin Cano's school record and Pac-10 record for most distance running titles for Arizona. Cheserette, the brother of Bernard Legat, the two-time Olympic medalist and a World Championship medalist, and the paced white is going to have to be fast, because if not, they're going to play right into Cheserette's hands.
Let's look back 2 years ago at Tucson when Cheserette was coming down the home stretch in the 1,500, letting everybody know that was title number 2, just one more to go, and of course he did accomplish that triple in Tucson, and they are off here in Oregon at the men's 1,500. That is Robert Cheserette trailing the pack.
Right there in a customary last place position early on. Interestingly enough, about that 1,500 that Cheserette won 2 years ago, he beat a couple pretty good middle distance runners. John Rankin, who ran 3:34 for 1,500 meters in Europe last summer, and Donald Sage, who won the NCAA championships as a freshman.
Tomas Babiskevich, probably his main proponent in this race in that field, as well as we see it early on. Russell Brown of Stanford leading through, and there's Robert Cheserette moving up, now actually just passing Tomas Babiskevich.
And let's not discount Russell Brown of Stanford. He ran extremely well at the Penn Relays, equivalent of about a 3:57 mile. He's the leader, in Austin Abbott, who is going to try to double. He is currently in second place, and the UW distance runners have performed marvelously under the tutelage of Greg Metcalf, the former national class steeplechaser.
And one of the things that you notice right away when you're watching Robert Cheserette, it reminds me of Vince Young, the quarterback from University of Texas. He doesn't look like he's even moving, but yet he is just gliding along easy as can be, and just pacing himself, trying to figure out exactly what is happening with the pace of the race, trying to save as much energy as he possibly can, and he's one of the most beautiful, most smooth runners I've ever seen at the collegiate level.
Yeah, and the point here, Dwight, is the pace has to be fast, and it was 57.6 for the first 400 meters, and that is the type of tempo they're going to need to beat Cheserette. And of course, you're getting the rhythmic clapping now from the Hayward Field group, and Jonah Mayo also moving up from the University of Arizona. He's moving right into about third behind Austin Abbott. And then you have UCLA's fine young runner, Mike Haddon.
So with 2 laps to go, it's still Russell Brown of Stanford leading it, with Austin Abbott of the University of Washington second, then Mayo and Cheserette of University of Arizona, and then Mike Haddon of UCLA. A still reasonably tightly bunched group considering the pace.
1:59 now. That was a 62-second lap, and Dwight, the wind is very, very difficult here. As you go down the backstretch, you're going into a fairly strong headwind, so Brown is going to have to do a lot of the work. And the guy you also want to look out for is Mike McGrath of Oregon. He's kind of tucked well back in there, but he's another guy who also Oregon's team hopes rely on as well.
I find it interesting, Cheserette sort of on the outside of lane 1, lane 2, taking a little of that wind rather than trying to let somebody buffet it for him. He might think better about that strategy as they come down the straightaway for the penultimate time. Robert Cheserette right where he wants to be, able to see exactly what's going on. Russell Brown, who has led from the beginning. It's Brown and then Mayo, Cheserette, Abbott, and Haddon with 1 lap to go.
And they're playing into Cheserette's hands. The pace has slowed down too much. It was 2:46 with 1 lap to go. That is just too slow. Now Mike McGrath of Oregon making a move on the outside would be big points for the Ducks if he could do something.
Cheserette with 300 meters to go. Looks like he wants to make a move, but now all 3 of the leaders are taking the teeth of the, or excuse me, taking the wind in their face. And now Cheserette trying to drop in on Brown. That's a little dicey, but Cheserette makes the gap. And now he will sprint for home. It's Cheserette followed by Brown, who has led most of this race, then Abbott. It's Cheserette's to lose, and we saw him fall in the 1,500-meter heats, got back up, and was able to qualify. Cheserette looking at title number 2 as the rest of the field chases him. Abbott starting to twist from side to side. It will be Russell Brown getting second, but Cheserette wins it unofficially 3:41.9. They did not make him run like they should have, but that's equivalent of about a 3:59 mile, so he didn't have a walk in the park. title number 2, Robert Chesaret is letting us all know.
And that, of course, breaks the historical record of Martin Kano, Kip Kano's son. And Chesaret, again, Dwight, the key thing in this race, they did not push the pace in laps 2 and 3. They needed to run sub 340 pace. I think perhaps the wind conditions, a little bit of the heat. Nobody really wanted to go out and take this thing. And Chesaret ended up getting title number 2 in this meet and helping Arizona's team points. And Mike McGrath's finish, which was well back, did not help Oregon, nor did Thomas Babish-Cavish's finish help USC.
Well, Robert Chesaret, a master of how to run these championship races. He owns the Pac-10 in these middle distance and distance races over the last 3 years. So Chesaret doing what he usually does at this meet. Let's take a look now back at the women's javelin throw contested on day 1.
And Rachel Yurkovich, I'm sorry, Dwight, she is the high school record holder, the American junior record holder, freshman at Oregon, has had a pretty good year, struggled a little bit in her last few meets, but she got out there and threw very nicely yesterday, winning at 166 feet 3 inches. So a big win for Rachel Yurkovich, the freshman.
Next event on the track, the women's 1,500-meter run. Used to the Pac-10 record, Lena Nilsson of UCLA, and then Mary Decker Slaney, whatever name you want to use, living up here for a number of years training. Back in 1984, set the Hayward Field record. 12 finalists in this race, well represented across the conference. But most importantly, out down there in number 11, Ariana Lambie, the junior from Stanford, and then in number 3, Rebecca Noble, the freshman from Oregon. So you know this crowd is going to be in it. She is something, that freshman, but Ariana Lambie is really...
Well, you see Noble there, Dwight, and she was the top high school runner in the country last year, ran 2:03 for Rogers High in Spokane, and just made the move last year from 400 to 800. Now she's running the 1,500 to get points for the Ducks. She's preparing herself for the NCAA Championships and the World Junior Championships. Wants to get used to the number of heats. She has great leg turnover, and she truly is a person who may redefine the 800 meters in this country for some time to come. Lambie's the opposite. Lambie is a 5,000 meter runner moving down to 1,500 meters. Here they're meeting in the middle. Noble moving up. There you see Lambie. She's moving down. Lambie won the NCAA indoor title at 5,000 meters and is a favorite to win the NCAA 5,000 outdoors against Amy Hastings, who we will see later in the 5,000 meters.
And you might look for Lambie and her teammate Amanda Trotter to try and push the pace early, because Lambie does not have that finishing speed. Her main way of doing well in this race is to try to push the pace, but with this wind, as you mentioned earlier, Tom, that's the X factor here.
And another X factor is Jenna Kingma and Rachel Ellison of Arizona State, who would like to pick up some points that may be unlooked for to help the Sun Devils get the team title. One other point, you mentioned Rudy Chapa as the meet record holder in the 1,500 meters here. His daughter, Annalise Chapa, right here, is running in this event, and his son, Joaquin Chapa, is a runner for Stanford. Rudy, of course, a very memorable runner here at Hayward Field.
And the tradition has really come back here to the University of Oregon with Coach Vin Lanana coming back. The recruiting that he's been doing these last couple of years, this incredible tradition here at the University of Oregon, should expect to see them come back in that middle distance area over the next 5 years.
And Hayward Field, of course, will be the home to the 2008 Olympic trials to select the team in Beijing. And there is no better place to have an Olympic trials than right here in Tracktown, USA.
And they're off cleanly. It should be interesting to see who decides to take the pace here. Lambie, they're on the outside, starting the 11th position, going close to the front as we expected she would.
And Mackenzie Edwards of Arizona is right in there as well. Lambie does have to push the pace. Noble's untested at this distance, Dwight, and you can see Noble in the back of the pack. And this is Lambie. Lambie has an interesting stride. She is very much a long strider, does not have the turnover that Becca Noble has. And if this thing comes down to a kick, Becca Noble's going to win this race. And as you can see, Becca Noble tucked right in the back of the pack, right there. And she's biding her time. Again, she's somebody that does not want a fast pace in this race. Lambie needs to have a fast pace, but then she's going to have to do all the work for everybody else, including fighting this wind.
So it's Ariana Lambie leading early on as we expected she would. And then from Oregon, it's Amber McGowan right in there, and Amy Leah of Washington, with Rebecca Noble biding her time a little bit further back. She's probably 8th or 9th in this 12-woman field, and Lambie now gapping the field a little bit, pushing the pace as we expected she would, but she could pay the price as we look at freshman Rebecca Noble. Lambie could pay the price because of the breeze that she could fight down that backstretch, even though it does not feel like there's much of a breeze right now.
Well, they're on 4:24 mile pace, which is a very good pace, and Becca Noble is in danger of losing contact here if she doesn't move up quicker, because Lambie is really starting to spread this field. She's doing a very, very smart thing, which the men's 1,500 meters should have done, which was push the pace. Now, it's a little bit different because Cesarette is an experienced 1,500 meter runner, whereas Becca Noble is an inexperienced 1,500 meter runner. Just a year ago, Dwight, she was a 400 meter runner. So it may be too much to ask of this talented young runner.
So with 2 laps remaining, it's Ariana Lambie of Stanford leading, with Amy Leah now in 2nd. Amber McGowan of Oregon 3rd, and Becca Noble still back in 8th and not looking like she has any predilection to move forward.
Tough thing for a freshman to run heats of the 800 and 1,500 yesterday, and then to come back and run finals, you know, a day later. 2:14.8 for 800 meters. So Lambie slowed down a bit to a 68-second pace, and only Leah appears to be going with her, Dwight.
And Leah doesn't seem to be put off by this pace much at all, but Becca Noble now moving into 7th place, still struggling and looks to be so far back it would be tough for her to get back into contact. Lambie, a nice, easy, flowing, long stride, but Amy Leah, she's in that great position to be the hunter, not the hunted.
And Amy Leah, again, another one of Greg Metcalf's marvelous jobs in the middle distances. She's really running very, very nicely. And let's not discount Amber McGowan of Oregon, who's moved into 3rd. She is running very, very well also. And Ashley Caldwell of UCLA in a nice position in 4th.
400 meters to go, and still Ariana Lambie followed by Amy Leah. They've got 25 meters on 3rd placer Amber McGowan, and Rebecca Noble, the freshman, easily 50 meters back, completely out of contact. If she finished in the top 5, it would be a great accomplishment at this point. Lambie continuing to press her advantage and starting to drop Leah, and with that 5,000 meter strength, she certainly can continue to extend this lead. She's not going to die. She may not be able to kick, but she's not going to die.
And she's running very well. She passed with 400 meters to go at 3:05, and then 3:22 at 1,200 meters. Very, very fine performance. Just solo performance, very strong.
So this is going to be 10 points for Stanford from Ariana Lambie. She pretty much had it her way the entire way. She leads by 30 meters over 2nd placer Amy Leah of Washington, who tried to stay with her but certainly could not stand the pace. So it's Lambie, the junior from Stanford, who has lots of national experience, who will win it. Amy Leah 2nd, but here comes Amber McGowan as this University of Oregon crowd starts to come to their feet. Now Leah sees that McGowan's right there, and she is able to mount a little bit of a sprint at the end, holds her off. McGowan will get 3rd. Then from UCLA, Caldwell and Noble will finish out of the points. No points out of Rebecca Noble in this 1,500 meters.
Well, Noble's got to come back in the 800, and as I say again, this event was kind of a land grab, and something that you wouldn't maybe necessarily expect this young runner to do so well. Now, one other thing, this is the 2nd fastest time in the collegiate ranks this year, behind only Jamissa Hess of North Carolina State.
A lot more fireworks in store. Make sure you stay with us.
Fox College Sports has the recipe for the ultimate college reunion. Start with over 800 live NCAA events. Add your favorite conferences, like the Pac-10, Big 12, and more. Toss in news from around the NCAA. And garnish with the hottest coaches shows. This is the place where college never ends. For more info, log on to foxcollegesports.com.
I am so tired of overpaying for health insurance.
Wow, I pay a lot less, and that covers me and my family.
If you're self-employed or an individual looking for affordable health insurance for yourself and your family, do what I did. Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for a free quote.
I got individual attention from a licensed Mega Health agent who tailored a plan to match my needs and was way more than affordable.
And unlike those questionable discount plans, this is real insurance. I got better coverage at a better rate, and I can choose my own doctor from their extensive network.
Now get this. You can't be singled out for a rate increase or cancellation. So, do what I did.
Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for your free quote. You have absolutely no obligation except the one to yourself, your family, and your business.
Call 800-646-6105 for your free Mega Affordable Health Insurance quote. Call 800-646-6105.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
Put your computer to work now.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
I'm making $5,000 a month.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
Log on to 38venture.com.
Welcome back to the PAC-10 Track and Field Championships, brought to you by 76 Quality Pro Clean Gasolines, the official gasoline of the PAC-10 Conference, as we look at the new facade at the front of Hayward Field with Steve Prefontaine on the right and Coach Bill Bowerman on the left. And let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team with the winner of the Women's 1500, Jim Watson.
1500, Ariana Lambie of Stanford. You controlled that race from the front, and I think you relied on your experience as much as your physical ability.
Yeah, I've run this event here 3 times now, and I've learned a lot from my teammates from this experience. And I knew my strength, and I used it.
Yeah, with 400 meters to go, you made a move, and you just pretty much broke this field down.
Yeah, I knew that if I pushed the pace strong enough, I could do that with 400 to go. And if I had it in me, we would have to test if the others did too.
Nice work. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Next event on the track, the men's 110-meter hurdles. Greg Foster, 3-time world champion, still holds the conference record. And Zhang Lu of Hayward Field, 13:06, the Olympic champion in Athens, the young Chinese hurdler. That's going to be a good event in Beijing. And here's how they will line up in the men's 110 hurdles. And look there in lane 4 from the University of Oregon, the senior Eric Mitchum, a close one to watch.
And Mitchum is going for his 3rd consecutive conference championship in this event. Only Greg Foster, who you mentioned, and Kehinde Aladafa of USC have also won 3 in a row. Mitchum, by the way, is the 2nd fastest runner in the country this year, behind Aries Merritt of Tennessee.
And on his left, this is sophomore Kai Kelly of USC. Just the sophomore.
Critical in the team point battle, Dwight. USC now 44.5 points behind Arizona with only 43 points. He is going to need to have to come up big. And his teammate Blake Frazier to his right is also, who had been running very, very well early in the season. They will need some significant points from the 2 of them. And let's not forget Kevin Craddock of UCLA, everything in the hurdles in high school, trying to regain his form.
And this is a big event for Oregon, as you mentioned, out in lane 6. Okabundu Equicor also can contend if some of the leaders stumble. They have a tailwind, remember, as they come down the finishing straight, so some of these taller hurdlers are going to have trouble getting close to the hurdles in the second half of the race.
And Mitchum is one of those hurdlers, Dwight, who has not really made significant progression since his freshman year in college. His best year was as a sophomore when he ran 13:38 and was 2nd NCAAs, but he was 4th in the NCAA meet last year. I'm looking for some sign that he's going to have a breakthrough year. This is the time for him now. This is the time for Eric Mitchum to truly try to break through beyond what he's done before.
It's a good start. Mitchum out not so well, but in lane 5, that is Kevin Craddock from UCLA. Now here comes Mitchum. Mitchum got it back together after a so-so start, and it's Eric Mitchum in lane 4, his late race to lose. It's going to be Mitchum, then Craddock, and very close between Kelly and Equicor for that 3rd spot. But Eric Mitchum continuing to wow this home crowd, and don't let this crowd get too much into this meet if your other teams than University of Oregon, because they will just sweep these Ducks right into the title.
Here's the key thing right here. As you pointed out, Dwight, Eric Mitchum got over very slow, and then this first hurdle, he whacked the crud out of it. and that put him behind the 8 ball. And then you can see Craddock on the left taking the lead, but now here's Mitchum, a very good tactician. You can see he had no trouble over the remaining hurdles. A very confident runner. He got through the race unscathed. Craddock, the best race he's had since high school, Dwight. He really performed well, and on the run-in, Mitchum got title number 3 here, and a very impressive time, 13:56, but a breakthrough performance for Kevin Craddock at 13:73. And important here, Dwight, A.K. Iquiakar of Oregon took 3rd, so the Ducks did very well from the team perspective here.
Let's go down to the infield to Jimmy Watson, who has our winner.
With Eric Mitchum, talking about the race, you got out of the blocks a little bit slowly, but you were able to recover almost immediately.
Well, I always, kind of slow out the blocks. But man, when I get going, so it was a good race for me, I think.
Keeping an eye on Craddock, he was right in front of you the whole way.
Yeah, I felt him the whole way. Man, he's a good talent. Man, he's going to be good one day.
Nice points for you guys. Not only do you win, but you guys pick up 3rd. Your teammate right there with you.
Yeah, that's, I think, 16 points. Trying to, win the whole thing.
Congratulations on your home track, too. They love you here.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Waddy, well, Oregon closing within 10 of Arizona now. Let's look back at day 1 to the women's long jump competition. Well, Erica McLean, the fabulous Stanford athlete, long jump and triple jump threat.
Dwight, she's the American junior record holder in the triple jump, and her coach is Edric Floriel, the former world-class triple jumper from Canada. And she got out to 21 feet 5 1/4 inches, win legal. That's the longest collegiate jump in the country this year. We expect big things from her in the triple jump, as well as this young woman, Renee Williams of UCLA, who had a tremendous freshman indoor campaign, got hurt, and now under the tutelage of Mike Powell, she is coming back, and she took 2nd at 20 feet 9 1/4 inches for UCLA, who also got a 3rd place performance by Rhonda Watkins, who won the high jump yesterday. So the Bruins did very well, and Erica McLean, truly, Dwight, could be an Olympian in 2008.
A lot of multitasking for these UCLA athletes. McLean wins it over Renee Williams, and Rhonda Watkins gets 3rd. Welcome back to Hayward Field, and there is a statue of Coach Bill Bowerman. He, of course, was Steve Prefontaine's coach, the head coach of the 1972 Olympic team, my first. And, of course, the trials were here in 1972 as we get ready for the next event on the track, the women's 100-meter hurdles. And in lane 5, that is Ginny Powell of the University of Southern California. She led off the victorious Trojan 4x100-meter relay event earlier in the day. And this is how they will line up. Powell will be in 5. Her teammate Candace Davis right next to her. And then Jackie Johnson of ASU, who is all-world this year. Candace Davis in lane 4, the senior, who probably made that race in the 4x100-meter relay possible for the Trojans, who got off to a terrible start. And then we aren't sure what to call Jacqueline Johnson. Her coach, Dan O'Brien, the great decathlete, calls her Jackson. She pronounces it with half of the first name and the last part of the second name. Some call her Jack Jack. She says, listen, I'm just Jackie. She'd already won the heptathlon, 2nd in the long jump, or 2nd in the high jump, I should say, and then 6th in the long jump at these championships. So a lot of points being scored by Jackie Johnson. She'll be out there in lane 7. Just a sophomore is Johnson, so a lot of great running, jumping, and throwing out of her over the next couple of years for those Lady Sun Devils.
Well, and Ginny Powell won the NCAA indoor title this year, setting in a collegiate record in 7:84. Dawn Harper of UCLA, who's also in this event, took 3rd. And Ginny actually has won more Pac-10 titles at the 100 meters than she has in the 100-meter hurdles. 2 in the 100, and she's going for her 2nd in the hurdles.
And Powell out well with the gun in lane 5. It's Ginny Powell already making her presence known. Powell getting that those long legs down between the hurdles. Her height actually hurts her in this event, and she blows the field away as the Lady Trojans take 1-2. Powell unofficially 12:64. Very close to a
legal
record.
That is a legal win, Dwight, 2.0. That's the fastest time in the world this year, and it is also the fastest time, obviously, in the U.S., only 0.03 of a second off the Pac-10 record. And you can see Ginny on the left there, Candace Davis on the right. And you can see the contrast. Look at how Candace Davis her face is contorted. It's very difficult. Ginny Powell has her head down. Every time she crosses over the hurdle, look, she puts that head down. She's focused. concentrated. She has great leg extension, and for a woman this tall, she's able to skim over those hurdles very, very well. Very impressive performance. She doesn't hit a single hurdle, and that time, Dwight, is world class. And you can see right there, eighth hurdle, how in control of the race. Dawn Harper to her left has crashed out, which hurts the Bruins team title hopes, but a brilliant performance, a world-class performance by Virginia Powell.
Virginia Powell makes her presence known. The Trojans go 1-2 in the women's 100 hurdles. A lot more action to come when we return to University of Oregon.
With my credit, I never thought I'd qualify for a new computer. But with Blue Hippo, all I need is a home phone and a checking account, and approval is guaranteed.
We're talking to people who've discovered Blue Hippo Funding's Guaranteed Approval Program. It doesn't matter if you have bad credit or no credit, because we don't check your credit. Your approval is guaranteed with just an active checking account.
I started my own home business, something I never could have done without a computer.
And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll include a multifunction printer, scanner, copier with your order. A $250 value, absolutely free. And we'll also include a brand new digital camera, absolutely free. That's over $500 worth of computer accessories, all for free when you call in the next 10 minutes.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't take advantage of this. It's a great offer.
Mom, can I go on the computer now?
Just a minute.
This is your chance to get a brand new, brand name computer from Blue Hippo, regardless of your credit. And by calling and ordering now, you'll receive this digital camera and this multifunction printer, scanner, copier for free. But you must call now.
Delicious pie, Mrs. Jeffers.
Let's get down to brass tacks. We really think your son is a special talent.
He's the kind of kid we're looking for.
We told you about the 800 live college events.
And you know we've got every major conference in the country.
I just wanted to be close to home.
He'll never get off the couch.
CD USA. It's the biggest music event of the year. Every week, the most exciting acts in the world, back to back to back, all in one show. Coming up this weekend, Goo Goo Dolls, Wicked Wisdom, Hoobastank, and a whole lot more. CD USA, exclusively on DirecTV.
Welcome back to Eugene, Oregon, the campus of the University of Oregon. William W. Knight Law Center, the father of Phil Knight. I think most of you probably know who Phil Knight is. He is the founder of Nike and probably the most brilliant sports marketing person who ever lived. Built quite the empire with the Nike shoes. His wife Penny on his left, enjoying a nice Mother's Day here at the University of Oregon. PAC-10 Conference Championships. Let's take a look at the team scores so far. Arizona State with a hefty 32.5-point lead on the women's side, but certainly a lot of track and field still left to go. Then Oregon there in third place. And on the men's side, it's a little bit tighter. Arizona with just a 10.5-point lead over Oregon. UCLA lagging behind, then USC at 50. So it's Arizona's race to lose. But Oregon, this meet is at their place, and they have already built some nice momentum on some early events as we get now ready for the men's 400 meters. Danny Everett, the Olympic medalist, the PAC-10 meet record holder, and Michael Johnson, the world record holder, set the Hayward Field record here back in 1993.
400 meters.
And in lane 5, the UCLA senior Craig Everhart will definitely be in the mix here in this 400 meters.
Dwight, he was third in the Pac-10 meet last year, has run under 45 seconds. As you can see there, 44.89, 6 on an all-time UCLA list, which includes multiple Olympic medalists.
And inside him in lane 4, probably the man with Oregon's hopes on his shoulders. A good performance here will really help the Ducks. Senior Matt Shearer.
One of the most versatile runners in the collegiate ranks. He's run a 150 800 meters this year, and he's on Oregon's sprint relay, which finished 6th in the NCAA championships last year. And then he ran a 44.6 anchor leg for Oregon last year in the NCAAs in the 4x4 of that 3:00.81 team.
Lane 3, Lionel Larry, the sophomore from USC, and any hopes that they have to try and get into this race. You can see he is all business. The sophomore from USC, a great talent.
Well, he is a racehorse. He has had multiple hamstring injuries since his senior year in high school, went to Dominguez High School in Southern California. This is his opportunity to break through, Dwight. Everybody at USC feels that this event is the event for him to really come onto the national scene. This is a very important moment in this young athlete's life.
Track and field aficionados will know that Michael Johnson had trouble with injuries all throughout his collegiate career at Baylor, would always run very fast early in the season for Coach Wright, as you see how these men will line up. Larry in 3, Shearer in 4, and Everhart in 5. That's where the race should come from.
And Dwight, Matt Shearer is a very emotional athlete. Yesterday, he ran very, very fast in the heats of the 200 and 400. This is now his 5th race over 2 days. He's one of the most emotional athletes I've seen in track and field. And I think if he were to win this, it would be a really critical moment in the team battle for Oregon.
Certainly would lift it, and the crowd will help him like no crowd we ever see. A partisan crowd here at Hayward Field can really help the Ducks run well. As we look at Lionel Larry, he can watch them right from the inside. It is Harcourt Jones, then Lionel Larry, Matt Shearer, Craig Everhart, Jeff Garrison of USC. The race should be in the middle. Very close so far. Shearer right there.
All 3 of them are right there, Dwight, almost equidistant apart, although it looks like Lionel Larry now taking the lead on the inside in lane 3.
Larry in lane 3 moving up. He's got that tighter turn, but lane 3 not too bad. It's Lionel Larry, but Shearer, his strength needs to kick in here pretty quick, or Larry is going to run away with this race. It is Lionel Larry with Matt Shearer in hot pursuit. Craig Everhart is trailing. And coming into the home stretch, it's Lionel Larry starting to flail a little bit with the arms. Shearer keeping it together, technically running the better race. And here comes Matt Shearer. He is going to win it, and look, this Oregon's Duck crowd. Larry, he ends up 3rd as Craig Everhart closes hard for 8 points for the Bruins. But Matt Shearer, after running very hard in the heats on day 1, wins this unofficially 45.19 seconds and 10 big points for the Oregon Ducks.
And as we said, Shearer is an emotional athlete, and you can see the entire Oregon team uplifted by this performance. This is a monster PR for Shearer, the 45.19. And once again, he showed how much importance emotion can come into track and field. And Dwight, it's the fastest time in the collegiate race this year. Now you can see Shearer right there in the middle in the big O. He is very well paced coming out of that turn. You can see Larry laboring a little bit, moving side to side. And you can see Shearer keeping his form. Craig Everhart at this point in time has left too much for the end here. And Shearer holding it together. And maybe all those 800-meter runs this year, Dwight, have played a key factor in him maintaining his strength down the stretch.
Every coach's dream on the technique there as we go downfield to Waddy. He has our winner.
Yeah, certainly a very popular result here in the men 400. Talk about that last 80 yards with everybody on their feet. That's got to be a great moment for you.
It was. The crowd just pulled me through. The crowd.
Sorry, try to get out of the way of the women's 400. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, the crowd just pulled me through. It was incredible. I just felt something I've never felt before.
Hey, you sent a couple of messages yesterday. You PR'd in both your events yesterday.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. All of us are. You know, we showed that in the 4x1 earlier. And Eric in the hurdles, and you know, this is Hayward Field. It's what it's all about, and we're ready to do what we need to do.
Thanks for your time, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So here are the official results. Matt Shearer with a big victory for the Ducks, 45-19. Craig Everhart closes hard down the home stretch for 2nd for the Bruins. Lionel Larry doing the twist all the way to the line. He gets 3rd place points for the Trojans. Let's take a look back at Day 1 men's pole vault, and again the story at University of Oregon. They have quite the athlete in Tommy Skipper. He was a stud in high school and has continued his winning ways as he's come to the University of Oregon with a great tradition here in the pole vault, Tom.
Well, absolutely. Skipper, who is one of the best athletes in the collegiate ranks, he has a 19-foot vault this season, which was his opening height in that event. He cleared 18 feet 1/2 inch to win. He missed at 19 feet 1/4 inch. Now this is Mike Landers of UCLA, who has had a very, very impressive season, his best so far. He ended up finishing 2nd at 17 feet 8.5 inches. A very nice performance for him. Of course, nobody in the collegiate ranks is on any kind of level with this guy. Skipper, who many people think would be the future in the decathlon in this country, but he's quite injury prone, Dwight.
And that's the real book on Skipper. He has great potential and has even realized some of it, but he's got to stay healthy, and that's That's difficult to do when you're training for the multi-event. So Tommy Skipper winning it easily, 18 feet a half inch, and this jacked it up a whole foot and was very close at clearing 19 feet to win the men's pole vault. 18 feet a half inch, and it's really a shame in the Pac-10 you can't get more than one guy over 18 feet a half inch. Mike Landers second, and Graham Host of Stanford, he gets third. Now let's take a look at the men's hammer throw. And there's always been good hammer throwers in this conference,
including Balazs Kiss, the Olympic champion in 1996 in Atlanta. And this is Adam Middles. He is the defending conference champion in this event from USC. Brother Zach, also a hammer thrower. They're from Olympia, Washington. And Middles took second in this event, 2:17.3 this year. And a little disappointed with that performance. And then UCLA, their outstanding performer, Boldazan Kozor from San Diego. The junior champion in the hammer last year, as you see, and he got it out to 217 feet. Excuse me, 219 feet 1 inch, and the Bruins win this competition. Middles finishing second. Again, a disappointing performance for the SC junior, and Kozar rather happy with that one.
Of course, head coach Art Venegas, a throws coach, so he always has good throwers in all of the disciplines. Balazs Kozar wins it. Just a freshman. Adam Middles gets second. Martin Bingizer of Washington finishes third. Next event on the track now, the women's 400 meters. Monique Henderson, Olympic gold medalist in the 4x400 relay in Athens, has the Pac-10 meet record. Ana Guevara of Mexico, Olympic silver medalist, has the field record run at the Prefontaine meet. And this is Nicole Leach, the freshman from UCLA. She will be starting in lane 4.
And Dwight, she's picking up from another former Bruin, Sheena Johnson, and being a very good 400 meter hurdler combo runner. She's a freshman from Philadelphia. A lot of high hopes, one of the top recruits in the country, and she works with Bobby Kersey, who knows a thing or two about the hurdles and jumps, Dwight.
And inside her in lane 3, that is Shantae Bain, and you can see 7-time U.S. Junior Olympic champion.
But Dwight, she emerged this indoor season. She took second at the NCAA Indoor Championships in the 200 meters. A breakthrough performance from her, but she's injured right now. She has had a wrap over her leg yesterday and just did not look comfortable in competing.
So it's the freshman in Leach from UCLA versus a sophomore in Shantae Bain of Stanford. And if any chances still remain for Stanford to be in this team title mix, very important that the sophomore, the injured sophomore, have a good performance here in this women's 400 meters.
Latasha Wallace of Arizona State in lane 5 is also attempting the same double as Leach, the 400 and the 400 hurdles, perhaps the most brutal double you can do in track, Dwight.
400 hurdles, arguably the hardest event in the sport of track and field.
And 48 minutes separate the time between this race and the 400 hurdles.
Leach on the right, Bain on the left. Williams, Hardiman, Bain, Leach, Latasha Wallace, Dignam, Johnson, and Turner. And through the first turn, very even so far.
Deshaun Johnson has gone out way too fast in lane number 7 for Stanford, but Bain looking a lot better than she did yesterday out in the middle of the track. She's made up the stagger on Leach. Now the question is whether she's made too big a move. She's more of a 100-200 runner, Dwight, so this might be an error tactically by her.
Sophomore Bain out there nicely. The freshman not making the move through the final turn. They're already past the wind. But Nashomi Johnson still trying to hang out there in lane 7. But in lane 3, it is Shantae Bain, the sophomore from Stanford, who has run the race well. Now let's see if she has the lift coming in the home stretch. It is Bain, now being followed by the freshman Leach of UCLA. Has she left it too late? Nashomi Johnson hanging on nicely out in lane 7, but it's going to be Bain as she ties up badly coming to the line. Bain wins it over Leach and close for third. It looks like Nashomi Johnson, who was out hard early, did hang on for third. So it's first and third for Stanford. That's 16 points for the Lady Cardinal. But Nicole Leach, the freshman from UCLA, just giving too much ground on that backstretch to Shantae Bain.
That was a really goody performance by Bain there.
So the 400s are in the book. When we come back, we will have the men's and women's 100 meters. Stay tuned for that.
working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
Put your computer to work now.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
I'm making $5,000 a month.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
Log on to 38venture.com.
The best damn sports show period. Weeknights on FSN.
For the first time in Idol history, Fox Reality, the all-reality, all-the-time network, takes you backstage for a little extra. A little American Idol extra.
Some of them were crying backstage. It was really sad.
We pick up where the voting left off and hear what they have to say. Finally, it's the whole Idol experience as Fox Reality goes behind the scenes every week.
This is incredible.
American Idol Extra, a Fox Reality original with encore performances all weekend.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The toughest trucks. You won't believe it. And the toughest drivers.
Oh, here we go.
Bumping, beating, and banging.
Unbelievable ride.
Hard and fast across the USA.
Look at this action up front.
It's a heart-pounding, paint-trading, edge-of-your-seat thrill ride. All season long, only on Speed.
Go, 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 go. From start to finish, it's unexplainable what it can do to you. Wait, bam.
Doesn't get much better than that. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
The bumping and banging continues.
On Speed.
Welcome back to Eugene, Oregon. We're on the campus at Hayward Field and a pull back to the beautiful Willamette Valley, the hills beyond. A beautiful day for track and field. A little bit breezy from time to time. As we look at the official results of the women's 400 meters, Shantae Bain, the sophomore at Stanford, holding off the freshman Nicole Leach for the win. Nashomi Johnson of Stanford helps the Lady Cardinal gain 16 points in that event. As we get ready now for the men's 100 meters. Otto Bolden, the perennial Olympic silver medalist, has the Pac-10 meet record, and Sean Crawford, the 200-meter Olympic champion in Athens, holds the stadium record. And there's your big three. In lane 3, Philip Francis, the senior from USC, who helped them to a second-place finish in the 4x100-meter relay earlier in the meet.
And Dwight, this is an important race for the team battle. You see Richard Del Rincon splitting the two Trojans. Del Rincon looked terrific in the heats yesterday, always seems to peak for this meet. And then out in lane 5, you have Gary Jones, who was a great high school runner.
You might know that the world record in the men's 100 meters was set Olympic champion and world champion, now world record holder. And look at the progression there. It's been broken twice in a year. Then Maurice Green having it from way back in 1999. And Justin Gatlin, just a youngster, and already Olympic champion, world champion, and now world record holder. Quite a career already. And they're out clean in the men's 100 meters in lane 3. That's Philip Francis moving well for the Trojan. But here comes Richard Del Rincon in the middle. But no, Francis starts to lift. He finds another gear. And Francis runs away cleanly from this field. And then it was a blanket finish for second through fifth. Francis unofficially 10.25. It took him a while to get going, Tom Fuhrer, but he just shifted into overdrive with about 40 meters remaining.
Well, he had a breakthrough performance in the USC-UCLA dual meet, and he has continued along in that fashion. And you have to look at him now as you look at the NCAA championships and his potential. Now, you can see out of the blocks, he did not get out best. Del Rincon right here did. But then Francis started to lift, and you can see him right here. And he started to take over the race. Now, the key thing here was that Del Rincon finished ahead of Gary Jones of USC by 0.02 of a second. You can see him getting out of the blocks. You can see that Del Rincon had the lead in the middle. Francis kind of started. You can see how his head came up. He moved up in the transition phase. Look at his knee lift. Incredible knee and arm action. He really, really lifts. He's an impressive sprinter. And they've been predicting that he would become this kind of sprinter from the time he graduated high school at Fairfax High in Los Angeles. And he's finally fulfilling his potential.
But 8 points for the Ducks, says Richard Del Rincon is the man who emerges from that blanket finish. So Francis 10 for the Trojans, but Del Rincon continuing to help Oregon with 8 points there. Gary Jones of USC manages for the Trojans to get 16 points for the Trojans, but is it a little too late as we check in from day one's field event competition, the women's shot put.
Well, and it was a doozy, Dwight. Arizona State, this is what helped them get into the driver's seat in the team battle. This is Jessica Presley. She was the shot put champion in the Pac-10 last year at 55.11 1/4, and she came through. She didn't win the event this year. She finished third, but the conference is so strong in this event. She threw 54.5 1/4. Now, Karen Freeberg, who transferred in, she is a freshman at the vaunted Annenberg School of Communications at USC. This is her third college she's competed for. She was at SMU, then at Florida. She's thrown 57 feet, but she could not get in track the way that she wanted to yesterday, and she went out there and threw 55.6 1/2. Not exactly what she wanted. Now, you might have thought that Arizona State was cooked when Jessica Presley finished third. Not to be. Their redshirt freshman, Sarah Stevens, the top high school thrower in the country 2 years ago in Colorado, redshirted last year, the U.S. junior champion from last year. She came through in a big way, a monster personal best, 57.2, and she now puts herself in the NCAA picture along with Laura Garotti of North Carolina and Michelle Carter of Texas.
That was a sixth-round throw. That's why she intentionally fouled. She had already won it. And you'll notice the Arizona State throwers all using the spin because John Godina is down there with his coach, Dave Dumble, and making a big difference to that program.
And I'll tell you, between Dave Dumble and Louis Quintana, Greg Kraft at Arizona State has surrounded himself with some terrific assistant coaches.
And this is how the official results were. Sarah Stevens winning at 57.2. Karen Freeberger of USC manages second. But ASU gets 16 points in that women's shot put when Jessica Presley finishes third. Now let's take a look at the men's javelin throw, also contested on day one.
While we're talking about great assistant coaches, Duncan Atwood, a volunteer assistant coach at Washington, and he's coaching Juan Romero. And this guy had a 13-foot personal best yesterday. He came out of nowhere, and look at how he celebrates that throw. That was 233 feet 11 inches. This is Paul Tynert of Cal. He was the Pac-10 champion last year. Couldn't get quite on track. He threw 221 feet 10 inches. But the biggest shocker in this event, and maybe the biggest shocker of the meet thus far, the prohibitive favorite, Saku Kalisto of Arizona, second in the NCAA on the collegiate list this year. He, very disappointing performance, ending up only third, 220 feet 1 inch. So a big performance by Romero of Washington to upset two of the finest throwers on the collegiate ranks.
Of course, that is such a strange event anyway, with the wind the way it blows here at the University of Oregon. But as you can see, the final results, Romero with a nice, easy win over Tynert, and Casisto having a tough time finishing third for the Wildcats. And the next event on the track, the women's 100 meters. And we've already seen most of these athletes' earlier events. Pac-10 meet record held by Gail Devers, the twice Olympic champion at the 100-meter distance. And then Marion Jones holds the Hayward Field record from the Prefontaine meet a few years ago. And in lane 5, this is Carol Rodriguez, the sophomore from USC. She anchored the Lady Trojans to the win in the 4x100-meter relay earlier.
And she is from Western High School in Anaheim, Puerto Rican. She has the trademark red and cardinal and gold socks, and she is a very, very strong sprinter. Now here's Virginia Jones. She made the USATF final in the 100 meters last year. Now a two-time Pac-10 100-meter hurdle champion, looking for 3 here. Coached by the great Dr. Tommy Lee White, Dwight, and he has done a marvelous job developing her.
Jenny Powell has really turned into a very, very strong sprinter as well as hurdler. She already ran a world-class time, fastest time in the world this year in her women's 100 hurdles race, where she blew the field away. Already the NCAA indoor champion and record holder at that hurdle distance. But she has been known all her career as a good sprinter.
Well, she just made chase Marcia Hooker and Shalonda Solomon for the NCAA 100-meter title as well. She is a double threat at the national level, as is, by the way, USC with Rodriguez, their 4x100-meter relay, and Candace Davis in the hurdles.
And the Hayward Field crowd on this beautiful day, capacity on the home stretch side. This is track and field at its best in track and field's mecca, and with the University of Oregon being in contention on the men's side, it makes it even more a more exciting atmosphere. This appreciative crowd, also knowledgeable crowd. There's Jenny Powell settling in the blocks in lane 4. And the second good start of the day for Ginny Powell down in lane 4. It's Powell in 4, Rodriguez in 5. Powell genuflecting down the home stretch as she wins it easily over Janice Davis of Stanford.
And lane 3 looks to be in second.
So Ginny Powell, a double winner, the 100 hurdles in a world-class time. And now the 100 is unofficially 11.10, and the time is a legal time, the wind under the allowable.
And Dwight, that's the fastest time. Watch him come out of the blocks. Rodriguez here came out so poorly, a god-awful start. And then you see Powell driving. Look at those arms. And then she gets into her full running motion. Just so confident. Dwight, that's the fastest time in the collegiate race this year. So she's run 11:10:12:64. She is so powerful and strong. And just a brilliant performance right down through the finish. A very, very easy victory for her, and you can see she's quite happy with it.
So Ginny Powell, a double winner here at the Pac-10 conference meet. We'll be back with more track and field action when we return to the University of Oregon.
A lot of reflection and soul-searching went into this decision. So it is with great excitement that I announce my commitment to Fox College Sports.
Okay, Reggie, do you deny that you receive over 800 live college events?
Let's just say it's gonna look mighty nice on my 52-inch widescreen.
I am so tired of overpaying for health insurance.
Wow, I pay a lot less, and that covers me and my family. If you're self-employed or an individual looking for affordable health insurance for yourself and your family, do what I did. Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for a free quote.
I got individual attention from a licensed Mega Health agent who tailored a plan to match my needs and was way more than affordable.
And unlike those questionable discount plans, this is real insurance. I got better coverage at a better rate, and I can choose my own doctor from their extensive network.
Now get this, you can't be singled out for a rate increase or cancellation. So, do what I did.
Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for your free quote. You have absolutely no obligation except the one to yourself, your family, and your business.
Call 800-646-6105 for your free Mega Affordable Health Insurance quote. Call 800-646-6105.
Every night, there's just one place to be. The best damn sports show, period. Come on in and be our guest for Sports Television's nightly party. The world's greatest late-night sports show is just getting started. The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
Welcome back to the Pac-10 Track and Field Championships, brought to you by 76 Quality Pro Clean Gasolines, the official gasoline of the Pac-10 Conference, as we look at the victory ceremony for the women's 11:10 in the 100, 12:64 in the hurdles. Janice Davis of Stanford was second. Carol Rodriguez of USC helps the Lady Trojans to 16 points in that women's 100 meters. As we get ready for the next event on the track, which is the men's 800 meters, a pivotal race for the men's overall team title. Joaquim Cruz, the Olympic champion from 1984, holds the Pac-10 record. Mark Everett, three-time Olympian for the U.S., the Hayward Field record.
Well, and Dwight, this is the moment of truth for the USC Trojans. They have 3 entrants in this race: Deshaun Cunningham, Rafael Asafo-Agye, and Dwayne Solomon. And you've also got the defending Pac-10 and West Regional champion Ryan Brown. You're looking at him right there. This, to me, was the biggest upset in the Pac-10 Championships last year, and then he came back and won the West Regional 2 weeks later. This kid is for real, and again, another one of Greg Metcalf's great runners. And Dwayne Solomon, who seems to be the best USC 800-meter runner of the 3 this year. He ran very well at the USC-UCLA duel, and he was 3rd at the West Regionals last year. And then Asafo-Agye, another one of the top USC 800-meter runners. He's got the puka shells. He's from Ghana, could be on the Ghana Olympic team in 2008, and he was third at the Pac-10s last year. Critically important event for the Trojans. Oregon only has Mike McGrath, who is doubling back from the 1500. He's out there in lane 8. Probably doesn't have much of a chance in this event. And there's McGrath. You see him there. He was only 6th in the 1500 meters. This is probably out of his league. Also, Austin Abbott, who was in the 1500 meters for the University of Washington. He's out in lane number 2.
Here's how they will line up. 3 Trojans in this race. Maybe their last best chance to get the points they need to try and close the gap with the University of Arizona as we look at Rafael Asafo-Agay of USC. And next to him, his teammate, the sophomore Dwayne Solomon, the only one in the field who broke 1 minute 50 seconds in the qualifying heats. To see how he comes back from that.
Dwight, I'm wondering about the number of people and the number of races they're running. We saw Nicole Leach in the 400. That was her 5th race over 2 days. And you're looking at Austin Abbott and you look at Mike McGrath, and this is their 4th race over 2 days. And some of these fresher athletes are likely to do better. And it could be a huge factor for especially in these middle distances.
Of course, this crowd loves their middle distance and distance races, as well as other events that are going on the infield. Impossible to get a clean start here with as much excitement as there is about other events going on in the infield, and that's track and field at its best. It's a 3-ring circus as we now get ready for the men's 800 meters.
Well, and Ryan Brown last year when he won, he came from well behind to do it. So it'll be interesting to see. Solomon likes to take the pace from the front, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. So the 3 Trojans right out there have decided to go 1, 2, 3, and this is what they need to do in order to get back into this team picture.
And it's definitely going to be a team race here as Solomon trying to drag it out a little bit. The breeze starts to come up a little bit, and it's in their face on that backstretch. Solomon well clear, maybe running within himself, maybe not. And Ryan Brown back there in the pack, letting someone else do the work.
Solomon and Asafo-Agay is there in 2nd. Again, this is what Solomon did in the USC-UCLA meet. He went wire to wire on that. Martel Munguia of UCLA, who's there in 3rd. He was expected to do a little bit more in that dual meet, and Ryan Brown of Washington in 4th. This is dangerous for Solomon because it's a little bit different when you're trying to do this thing all by yourself in a meet like this. 53.6 at 400 meters, not too aggressive, Dwight.
Not at all when you consider how much further behind everyone else is. It's Solomon, followed by Asafo-Agay.
And Mike McGrath, unbelievably, in 3rd after finishing 5th in that 1500. This is quite a story if he's to hang on.
And Ryan Brown is out of it in 6th. It is Solomon and Agay right now, 1-2 for the Trojans. McGrath hanging on, and coming up for Washington, Austin Abbott, who is doubling back from the 1500 meters, is well back as well. And from Cal, that
Alex McClary coming into 3rd. And now you see Ryan Brown. Dwight, I never count this kid out, but I think he's got too much to make up here.
Solomon's going to go wire to wire, followed by Asafo-Agay. And then it's a fight between McClary, and now Ryan Brown comes up for 3rd, but Solomon wins it easily. Asafo-Agay and Ryan Brown just blanking out in that 2nd lap. The 3rd 200, the one you want to run the hardest, is one that he just sort of rested on, and he left the field in front of him. A 1-2 finish for the USC Trojans, with Dwayne Solomon, the sophomore, showing that he can do it even at the conference level, wire to wire.
Well, and the USC Trojans with those 18 points on 1st and 2nd, that gets them back into the running in a significant way. And Deshaun Cunningham, who finished, it looks like, in 8th place, so that didn't help USC. They just got 1 additional point there.
But still, 19 points can't hurt the Trojan effort as they are still chasing the University of Arizona. Let's go down to Jimmy Watson, who has our winner.
Well, that one was it looked easy from the curb, but I know out front it wasn't. 53.6 first quarter, you had an easy lead. Were you surprised you had that much of a gap?
Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to do, you know. I did have to dual meet, so, you know,
I know I had enough to, get through the race. So, I mean, it was pretty good. It was good. It was a good race.
And of course, the sidebar story is the team effort here. Your teammate runs second right behind you. That's an important race for you guys as a team.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. We just wanted to go 1, 2, 3, but I mean, 1, 2. It's just as good, So I'm excited.
Congratulations, Pac-10 champ. I saw the victory sign and you crossed the line.
There you go, man.
Solomon wins it. Asafo Agay second, and with those points, USC vaults ahead of the University of Arizona. That's going to be important to see how the rest of these races turn out as we now take a look at the men's shot put competition.
Well, this was a really interesting competition. Came down the very end. Sean Shields of Arizona was the leader all the way through 5 rounds. He got out there. He won the Pac-10 last year at 65, 5.5. A little disappointing 63, 11 3/4, but that held up for 5 rounds until Noah Bryant of USC stepped into the ring. Now, Noah Bryant got hit by a hammer last year that got entangled from the hammer net, hit him in the head. He survived. He came back, and that survival instinct served him well. He got a 1-foot personal best in the 6th round and won in 64, 6.5, which certainly helped the USC Trojan team situation with that unlooked for win. There's Dan Lang as coach, done a marvelous job with Noah Bryant.
So Bryant wins it 64, 6.5. Sean Shields relinquishes his Pac-10 title, and William Denbo of USC makes it 1-3 for the Trojans.
And one thing, Bryant and Shields used to compete against each other since they were freshmen in high school, and Bryant said, I think this is the first time I've ever beaten him.
And let's take a look at the steeplechases from yesterday as well. Pivotal events on both the women's and men's side.
Well, Arizona State has never lost a women's steeplechase in Pac-10 history. Brooke Bennett made it 6 in a row. And for added measure, Anna Massinelli, who won the event last year in the Pac-10s, took 2nd. And then Corey Randall, who volunteered to run, took 5th. And so the Sun Devils picked up a 1st, 2nd, and 5th. Now this is Aaron Aguayo. He won his 3rd consecutive Pac-10 steeplechase title. That's the first time it's ever happened in the conference. Julius Career had won 3 in 4 years, and Julius Career won the '84 Olympic gold medal in the event. And not only did Aguayo win, but his teammate Ryan Warrenberg took 2nd. So Louis Quintana's distance people have been simply dominating. It used to be Stanford that had it in this conference, but now Arizona State appears to be the distance powerhouse.
So something in the water down there in Tempe as both the men's and women's steeplechase dominated by the Arizona State Sun Devils. There's the women's results, and there are the men's. 1-2 on both sides. As we take a look at the nice flowers that are there by the steeplechase water pit. And we're getting ready now for the women's 800-meter run.
Well, and we get to see Becca Noble again, and this time in her premier event.
Birgitta Langerholtz, former NCAA champion, has the Pac-10 record. Maria Mutola, the Olympic champion at the distance, has the Hayward Field record. She went to high school in Springfield, just about 6 miles away. And Rebecca Noble, the fabulous freshman who really struggled in the 1,500 meters earlier in the meet. This is her best event. She's run 2:02.85 this year.
And Becca Noble was 2nd at the NCAA indoors to Heather Dunedin of Minnesota. And Becca Noble, as we mentioned, she started off as a 400-meter runner. And now she's the fastest collegian at this event in the country.
So Rebecca Noble starting out in lane 5. Let's see if she's able to recover from that 1,500 meters. Considering the fact that she scored no points for the Lady Ducks in that race, they have to hope that she left enough in the tank to run her best event here.
Now let's talk strategy for a minute. If I'm Noble, I stay a little bit out of the fray and stay back because of all the runners in this event. She by far has the best 400-meter speed. We're only a year away from the time when she won for Rogers High in Spokane, the state 400-meter title in Washington. And through 200 meters, 30.2, so that kind of plays right into the kind of pace that she wants. Now, Alicia Johnson of Cal was 3rd in the NCAA indoor behind Dunedin and Noble, and she's currently in the lead, so she's no slouch in this event. And Ashley Caldwell's in 2nd. She's also doubling back from the 1,500 weight.
So it's Mackenzie Pierce, as you see a capacity crowd on the home side here at Hayward Field, and this is one of the events they just adore. Anything that's middle distance or distance at the bell, it's still Mackenzie Pierce of Cal, or Alicia Johnson, I should say, of Cal, 65-1, so a nice pedestrian pace for Rebecca Noble to be able to react off of, and she's now just slipping into third place. Perfectly placed for her to make an attack on this back stretch. Ashley Caldwell in second, and also Sarah Schaff of Oregon, also a nice move. But there goes Rebecca Noble.
Now Noble now in fourth, going to move past Caldwell into third. It looks like a little bumping there between Johnson and Schaff. And here comes Noble. Look at the turnover in her legs.
And now they're boxing. Alicia Johnson, and Noble now goes wide. And Noble now has the home stretch. She's lifting up the home stretch. Has Johnson to have enough to catch her? It doesn't look like it. Sarah Schaff trying to hang on to third for Oregon. But Rebecca Noble has enough in the tank coming back from the 1,500 meters. She will win it. Johnson second and Schaff third.
And I'll tell you what, if you look at Noble, her mechanics are so good, Dwight. Coming down the home stretch, she kept it all together. And as you know, that's just so difficult. 4 races in 2 days, including 2 over-distance races. And as you can see, there was a tangle there between Schaff and Johnson. Johnson's a big runner, and as that was happening, Noble came on the outside there and pulled right away. And you can see a very impressive performance.
So first and third for the Lady Ducks in one of the premier events for their program. We'll be back with more PAC-10 track and field right after this.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
If you're not working from home, then you're missing out on your share of a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I'm making $5,000 a month. Never thought I'd make this much right out of school.
I actually like what I do now, and I'm making more than ever.
Put your computer to work now.
My goal for next month is $20,000.
Working from home changed my life. This is the one website you have to visit.
I love working from home.
Ready for more money? Start earning extra money yourself by going to this website today.
Log on to 39venture.com now.
With my credit, I never thought I'd qualify for a new computer. But with Blue Hippo, all I need is a home phone and a checking account, and approval is guaranteed.
We're talking to people who've discovered Blue Hippo Funding's Guaranteed Approval Program. It doesn't matter if you have bad credit or no credit, because we don't check your credit. Your approval is guaranteed with just an active checking account.
I started my own home business, something I never could have done without a computer.
And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll include a multifunction printer, scanner, copier with your order. A $250 value, absolutely free. And we'll also include a brand new digital camera, absolutely free. That's over $500 worth of computer accessories, all for free when you call in the next 10 minutes.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't take advantage of this. It's a great offer.
Mom, can I go on the computer now?
Just a minute.
This is your chance to get a brand new, brand name computer from Blue Hippo, regardless of your credit. And by calling and ordering now, you'll receive this digital camera and this multifunction printer, scanner, copier for free. But you must call now.
Back at the University of Oregon, Hayward Field, track and field at its best, the Pacific 10 Conference Championships. And here are the men's team scores. USC leading with 111 points, followed by Oregon, who's really on the move, 97.5, and then Arizona dropping down to third place with 94. Plenty of track and field left, though, for these teams to get jumbled up. As we get ready now for the men's 400-meter hurdles, arguably the toughest event in the sport of track and field. This is John Castleman, the son of Rob Castleman. Kaz was pretty good 400 hurdler back in his day in the 70s. And here's his son, and on the back of that robe it says Castleman Pistol. Kevin Young, the world record holder, holds the PAC-10 meet record. Olympic champion from the 92 games in Barcelona, and he also holds the Hayward Field record. Here's how they will line up. Shane Charles of Washington, probably the best on paper, but Kai Kelly of USC could really help the Trojans, and then Eric Mitchum back for the 110 hurdles.
And away with a gun. And Ikwu Akar also from Oregon in lane 2, who did very well in the 110 hurdles and in their 4x100 relay that won.
But it is Shane Charles out very quickly, making up the stagger on 2 of his opponents already. really working down that backstretch where you've got to work hard because that breeze in your face can mess up the stride pattern.
And John Castleman currently second, Dwight. And Shane Charles will probably be on the Grenadian Olympic team in 08.
And Charles starting to pay for it a little bit, and John Castleman still looking good down in lane 3. It is Charles coming with just 2 hurdles left into the home stretch. It's Shane Charles clean through 9, followed by John Castleman. It's Charles, and if he misses this one, Kaz is all over him. Kaz, he is lifting hard just like his father, and at the wire, it's impossible to separate them. Unofficially 49.47. Kai Kelly of USC coming up for 3rd. And it is Charles by 0.02 of a second over John Castleman.
And a huge personal best for both. And Shane Charles set a Grenadian national record. Now you can see he practically vaulted over that hurdle. You can see Castleman really driving down the stretch. And then this is about guts now, Dwight. And Castleman just ran out of track. And you can see, boy, just at the line, 0.02 of a second. Nice lean by Shane Charles. And more importantly, Kai Kelly 3rd for USC, and Eric Mitchum and Ikwa Akar of Oregon 4th and 5th. So the team battle still tight.
And Father Rob taught his son John well with those guts, but Sean Charles wins it. We'll be back with more. The 200 meters are coming up when we return to Eugene.
Fox College Sports has the recipe for the ultimate college reunion. Start with over 800 live NCAA events. Add your favorite conferences, like the PAC-10, Big 12, and more. Toss in news from around the NCAA. And garnish with the hottest coaches shows. This is the place where college never ends. For more info, log on to foxcollegesports.com.
A must-see award-winning series. This one is for all soccer fans.
He's done it again!
FSC brings you Dream Team. England's sexiest and hottest drama goes behind the scenes of a professional soccer team. A sizzling drama that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
You look here!
Dream Team, Thursdays on Fox Soccer Channel.
He's trying to kill me.
Oh my God. The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
Delicious pie, Mrs. Jeffers.
Let's get down to brass tacks. We really think your son is a special talent.
He's the kind of kid we're looking for.
We told you about the 800 live college events.
And you know we've got every major conference in the country.
I just wanted to be close to home.
He'll never get off the couch.
They are science's biggest mysteries. Now explore this galaxy of secrets on a search for real answers.
Our very own planet is still a mystery to us.
The biggest questions.
Life on Earth could have come from Mars.
Thrilling revelations.
We could all be aliens here.
The latest findings about things you never imagined were possible. Dare to take a journey into the raw and the real naked science. Mondays on the National Geographic Channel.
Welcome back to Hayward Field on the campus of the University of Oregon. Continuing coverage of the PAC-10 Men's and Women's Track and Field Championships. Let's take a look at the highlights of the women's 400-meter hurdles coming off the final turn. It was freshman Nicole Leach of UCLA out there, favored on paper, Latasha Wallace of Arizona State, who they can use all the points that they can get here, and Leach just running away from it. The freshman showing a lot of strength.
And Dwight, she was second in the 400. This is her 5th race over 2 days, and she showed a lot of guts coming down the stretch. But perhaps equally important, Latasha Wallace of Arizona State finished second and just about wrapped up the team title for the Sun Devils. They now have a 30-point lead over Oregon, 118 to 88, and that just about did it.
And here are the official results. The freshman Nicole Leach winning in 57-27. Wallace of ASU second, and Casey Harwood of Oregon finishing 3rd. So here are the team scores after these events. Arizona State with 118 points, but they've got some field event results that we know about that boost that total to 130. Stanford well behind with just 100.5, and then Oregon in third with 88. Next event on the track, the men's 200 meters. Otto Bolden, the silver medalist at the Olympics in 1996 and the bronze medalist in 2000. 20 flat he ran at the Pac-10. Lorenzo Daniel of Mississippi State is the Hayward Field record. He ran that in the NCAA championships, and this is how they will line up. Jordan Kent getting that lane 1 draw, and Matt Scherr, who already won the 400, coming back in the 200, and Richard Del Rincon. Those 3 Oregon runners really need to step up and do something. This is Philip Francis of USC, ran the 3rd leg on their 4x100 meter relay team that finished 2nd to the Ducks earlier in the meet.
And this is the classic meeting of 2 distances. Scherr winning the 400 meters in that remarkable time. Francis winning the 100 meters, and now the 2 of them. There you see Scherr, who has had the best meet of anybody here at the Pac-10s with his performances over the 2 days. And he has the benefit of having Francis to his outside. And let's not forget, too, that Dominic Peterson of Arizona State is a very good 200-meter runners in lane 5. And from a team perspective, Scherr, Kent, and Richard Del Rincon in lane 6. Del Rincon finishing 2nd in the 100. Critical for Oregon now because they are up against it on the men's team battle. They're 13.5 points behind USC. So Francis needs to come up big, and this is sure a summit meeting between these 2 teams.
So Coach Ron Alice, who I saw just moments ago, he knows how important Philip Francis's performance is here in this 200 meters. They don't really have much of anything in the 5,000 meters. So, and he is concerned that 3 Oregon runners are in this final, even though Jordan Kent drew lane 1. But in front of this crowd, anything can happen, and very little wind that they will have to run into on that backstretch. The breeze will hit them at their back as they come down the finishing straight. So much the way that it happened at UCLA last year, Oregon making some important moves late in the meet, what allowed them to win the team title last year. And Coach Alice at USC concerned that he's going to see that same movie all over again.
Well, this is such a pivotal event for the Ducks. It really maybe more so than the 5,000 with Galen Rupp going up against Cesaret. This one may really be it. Again, Del Rincon 2nd in the 100. And as you can see, they have not won since 1967. There were 10,500 here to see that, so they'd like to win it again on their home track.
And Ray Keenley sure making a good move out in lane 3. Jordan Kent running hard in lane 1 for the Ducks. It's Kent right now in lane 1. And here comes Philip Francis off the turn on his outside. Dominic Peterson. Francis in the white of USC lifting up the straightaway much the way he did in the 100. It is going to be Francis winning it, then Peterson 2nd. It looks like Oregon was 4, 5, 6, with Bobby McCoy getting 3rd for the University of Arizona.
And an amazing time, 20.39. Again, Francis becoming one of the top sprinters in the country. The big thing about Philip Francis is how well he drives down the stretch. You can see, once again, he made the move similar as he did in the 100. Look at those arms, look at those legs pumping. A very, very impressive performance. And he's certainly now, as you can see him here, this is where he really starts to make his move around the turn. And he is just, he's decelerating less than anybody else. Watch how he pulls away from these 2, Peterson and Del Rincon, down the stretch. It's amazing how quickly he pulled away from them, Dwight.
And Oregon went 3, 4, 6 in that race. So still good points for University of Oregon, but USC gets the 10 points with the win. Next event on the track, the women's 200 meters. Gail Devers, the Pac-10 record holder. Marion Jones has the fastest time ever run here at Hayward Field. USC, the sophomore. Janice Davis of Stanford, the junior, out in lane 5.
And there's Carol Rodriguez. She performed very well, winning the 4x100 meter relay, running that anchor leg for USC, and then finishing 2nd to teammate Virginia Powell in the 100.
To her outside, Janice Davis of Stanford should be her main competition.
Rodriguez's race to lose.
And Carol Rodriguez out of the blocks well, but Janice Davis on her outside really moving through the turn. It's Davis in lane 5. Will come into the lead off the turn. Janice Davis in 5 from Stanford, but here comes Carol Rodriguez. It's Davis. Now Rodriguez incrementally getting her. She passes her. It is Carol Rodriguez lifting up the straightaway. She beats Janice Davis down the straight. And USC 10 points in the women's 200 meters.
Well, I'll tell you, that was an impressive stretch drive by Carol Rodriguez, who is also a very accomplished 400-meter runner. And you can see the difference between the two right there. And then this point, she's still behind, and she starts to move ahead right there. And it was all over. Again, Rodriguez is very, very, very strong as she pulls away. And you can see around the turn, Davis at that point had the lead, somewhat like Jordan Kent running that first 100 very, very hard. But you almost, Dwight, have to pace yourself a little bit in the 200. They call it an all-out sprint, but you can't go so hard in that first 100.
You have to have the strength to maintain it, and Janice Davis certainly did not. And let's go down to Waddy, who has Carol Rodriguez.
Yeah, Carol Rodriguez at the top of the stretch. You were back about 5 meters, but you had Davis right in front of you the whole way.
Exactly. The turn's really long here. It's like 115 meters, so I'm not really quite used to that long of a turn. But once I was off the turn, I knew if I just focused on my transition, I'll be fine.
Nice work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carol Rodriguez of USC, a Pac-10 champion. We're coming back to Eugene. You're watching the Pac-10 Men's and Women's Track and Field Championships on FSN.
I am so tired of overpaying for health insurance.
Wow, I pay a lot less, and that covers me and my family.
If you're self-employed or an individual looking for affordable health insurance for yourself and your family, do what I did. Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for a free quote.
I got individual attention from a licensed Mega Health agent who tailored a plan to match my needs and was way more than affordable.
And unlike those questionable discount plans, this is real insurance. I got better coverage at a better rate, and I can choose my own doctor from their extensive network.
Now get this, you can't be singled out for a rate increase or cancellation. So, do what I did.
Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for your free quote. You have absolutely no obligation except the one to yourself, your family, and your business.
Call 800-646-6105 for your free Mega Affordable Health Insurance quote. Call 800-646-6105.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
If you're not working from home, then you're missing out on your share of a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I'm making $5,000 a month. Never thought I'd make this much right out of school.
I actually like what I do now, and I'm making more than ever.
Put your computer to work now.
My goal for next month is $20,000.
Working from home changed my life. This is the one website you have to visit.
I love working from home.
Ready for more money? Start earning extra money yourself by going to this website today.
Log on to 39venture.com now.
Next event on the track, the men's 5,000 meters, the penultimate event of these Pac-10 Conference Championships. All that's left after this, the 4x400 relay, and there you see the man going for a triple here for the second time in the Pac-10 meet. Robert Chesaret here. Henry Rono, former world record holder, has the Pac-10 meet record. And Luke Kipkoske of Kenya, the Hayward Field record. Galen Rupp there on the right of your screen, the Oregon prodigy. Let me tell you, this crowd will get into this race as long as Rupp is in contention.
Well, we've seen 3 of these Rupp-Chesaret races over the last couple of years, and every one of them has been a classic. Now, Galen has had a hypothyroid condition, hypothyroidism, that was just recently discovered, and it was questionable whether he would compete in this meet. But Alberto Salazar, his personal coach, left his brother's wedding to come to Hayward Field here and get Rupp in condition to run here, and it's critical this race for the team battle. Galen's going to have to finish second or better for Oregon to have a chance in that 4x400 meter relay, one that we're going to see both Jordan Kent and Matt Scherer in if Oregon has a chance to win the team title. So there's a lot of drama left in this meet. And Rupp, of course, a very special talent. He finished, he's the U.S. high school record holder at the 3,000 meters and at the 5,000 meters. And Dwight, the way that he runs, the guts that he has, the tempo that he runs reminds so many Hayward Field faithful of the golden days of Steve Prefontaine, of Bill McChesney, of Alberto Salazar, those that all had that same front-running style, that kind of guts, and Galen Rupp is that kind of kid. He will leave it all out on the track today, both for Oregon and for his coach, Alberto Salazar.
Russell Brown of Stanford leading here early in the 5,000 the way he did in the 1,500 meters earlier. But this is Oregon's race. This is where they either win it or don't win it. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll have more of this 5,000 meters when we return to Hayward Field.
With my credit, I never thought I'd qualify for a new computer. But with Blue Hippo, all I need is a home phone and a checking account, and approval is guaranteed.
We're talking to people who've discovered Blue Hippo Funding's Guaranteed Approval Program. It doesn't matter if you have bad credit or no credit, because we don't check your credit. Your approval is guaranteed with just an active checking account.
I started my own home business, something I never could have done without a computer.
And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll include a multifunction printer, scanner, copier with your order. A $250 value, absolutely free. And we'll also include a brand new digital camera, absolutely free. That's over $500 worth of computer accessories, all for free when you call in the next 10 minutes.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't take advantage of this. It's a great offer.
Mom, can I go on the computer now?
Just a minute.
This is your chance to get a brand new, brand name computer from Blue Hippo, regardless of your credit. And by calling and ordering now, you'll receive this digital camera and this multifunction printer, scanner, copier for free. But you must call now.
A lot of reflection and soul searching went into this decision. So it is with great excitement that I announce my commitment to Fox College Sports.
Okay, Reggie, do you deny that you receive over 800 live college events?
Let's just say it's gonna look mighty nice on my 52-inch widescreen.
And we're back at Hayward Field on the campus of the University of Oregon. PAC-10 Conference Track and Field Championships. Here are the team leaders on the men's side. USC with 130 over Oregon with 119.5. Then Arizona down at 102. This men's 5,000 meters is critical, not so much for anyone other than Galen Rupp and the University of Oregon. He was up in the front for much of the race, actually took the lead for a while, and this crowd went crazy. But Rupp is now in third and seems content to stay there. Up in the front, it's Obed Mutanya of Arizona, and then Robert Cheseret. Cheseret going for his second triple at these conference championships. He did this at Tucson 2 years ago at home. He won the 10,000, the 1,500, and the 5,000. He, at these championships, his senior year, has already won the 10,000 and the 1,500, and I'm sure that his teammate, Obed Mutanya, is aware of the importance of this and is simply rabbiting him right now.
Well, as you mentioned, Dwight, there are two things going on in this race. Up front, you got Cheseret going for his 8th overall Pac-10 conference title in his final race in the Pac-10 Championships. And then you have Rupp. If Rupp holds third place, then Oregon would have to win the 4x400 meter relay, and USC would have to finish 4th or worse. Now, this conference has a bevy of good 4x400 meter relay teams, so it's certainly possible but unlikely. And the pace that they've been running here have been between 64 and 67-second laps. And now Mutanya and Cheseret are coming up for the final time here with Rupp firmly in third.
They'll lap in 30 meters. Mutanya just doing the rabbiting duty so Cheseret can slingshot to his second triple crown here at the Pac-10 Conference Championships. Rupp about 60 meters behind, but well protected in third place. He will get 6 points for the Ducks, but he has been dropped by the two Wildcats from the University of Arizona. The taller of those two on the right, Robert Cheseret, Obed Mutanya, and Cheseret will now make his move, and I'm sure he'll get a nice ovation coming down the finishing stretch because these University of Oregon fans love and appreciate distances. Rupp has done well considering the injuries and things that he's had coming into this meet. And there's Cheseret with 200 meters to go, lifting, just floating along down the final 200 meters. His teammate Obed Matanya will be happy to get second place. Cheseret, his final lap in the PAC-10 Conference Championships. What a great career he has had, and watch for him to show us the three fingers for his third title, and this appreciative crowd. He just shows that he's number one, and there's the three titles. Second time he's pulled off the Triple Crown. And Robert Cheseret wins it for the University of Arizona. Galen Rupp will get third, 6 points for Oregon. And let's see what happens in the 4x400 relay, which is what we will show you when we return to Hayward Field, the final event of the PAC-10 Conference Championships. You're watching it on FSN.
I am so tired of overpaying for health insurance.
Wow, I pay a lot less, and that covers me and my family.
If you're self-employed or an individual looking for affordable health insurance for yourself and your family, do what I did. Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for a free quote.
I got individual attention from a licensed Mega Health agent who tailored a plan to match my needs and was way more than affordable.
And unlike those questionable discount plans, this is real insurance. I got better coverage at a better rate, and I can choose my own doctor from their extensive network.
Now get this. You can't be singled out for a rate increase or cancellation. So, do what I did.
Call Mega Life and Health Insurance for your free quote. You have absolutely no obligation except the one to yourself, your family, and your business.
Call 800-646-6105 for your free Mega Affordable Health Insurance quote. Call 800-646-6105.
The best damn sports show period, weeknights on FSN. Fox College Sports has the recipe for the ultimate college reunion. Start with over 800 live NCAA events. Add your favorite conferences, like the Pac-10, Big 12, and more. Toss in news from around the NCAA. And garnish with the hottest coaches shows. This is the place where college never ends. For more info, log on to foxcollegesports.com. The season's greatest games unfold on Fox. Carlos Delgado and the revamped Mets have something to prove to their crosstown rivals. But Derek Jeter and the Yankees are out to show that they still own the city. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week on your local Fox station.
Back at Hayward Field, concluding the Pac-10 Track and Field Men's and Women's Championships. Look at some highlights. First, the women's 10,000 meters.
And as expected, Louis Quintana's Arizona State women's juggernaut continued. Amy Hastings, NCAA Indoor 5,000 winner. Victoria Jackson second. And Ashley Younce of Oregon State fifth. First points by the Beavers in 18 years in Pac-10 competition.
And women's high jump was a really lengthy affair.
Well, Jackie Johnson, who is the hardest working person in show business at this meet, she finished second. They had a jump off at 5:10. Jackie was on the short end of the stick there, and instead it was Rhonda Watkins of UCLA, one of Mike Powell's proteges, who came up the winner, won the jump off at 5:10, and led the Bruins to a victory there. Watkins, of course, was second in the long jump.
And she jumps a lot like a long jumper. And that's to the men's high jump. Jesse Williams, three-time NCAA champion, dominating the competition here in the Pac-10. Norris Frederick, who had won the long jump, got a nice personal best in second place. But Jesse just carries more speed than everybody else, runs the turn well, and look at that for hang time. Williams was also third in the long jump. Quite a great athlete. And he represented the U.S. on the World Championship team last year.
Well, and maybe one of the biggest stars this meet was Erica McLean. The first time in history in the Pac-10 Championships that somebody won the long and triple jump 2 consecutive years. McLean went the longest jump by a collegian this year in the long jump, and then came back and won the triple jump. A marvelous performance by her today.
Just a sophomore. And then the women's pole vault, Chelsea Johnson, who was the first woman to ever clear 15 feet. On the college side, she's pride of the pack for State Farm Insurance. Here she's clearing a Pac-10 meet record of 14 feet 10 inches. And by the way, she had lost that collegiate record. You see her coach, Anthony Curran, celebrating on the side. And then she had it raised to a new collegiate record, 15 feet 1 inch, and Chelsea Johnson makes it look easy, gets the record back that she had lost a few weeks ago, and she was with our Jim Watson right after that collegiate record vault.
Certainly no surprise to see Chelsea Johnson win the women's pole vault, but you gave us a nice treat today. Best jump in collegiate history. How does it feel?
I can't even describe it. It feels much better than sophomore year when I also broke the record. I've worked so hard this year, and finally to have it paying off is unbelievable. My coach Anthony and my dad are both here today, and it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. So I'm just so happy right now.
You mentioned you had that record as a sophomore. It was taken away from you. You said it was no big deal, but now you got it back.
Yeah, exactly. I would have liked to jump the next bar at 15.3, but next weekend at BYU Regionals. I'm looking for it.
Congratulations. That's back-to-back Pac-10 Championships.
Yeah, thank you.
Chelsea Johnson, guys.
Women's 4x400 meter relay. Here's how the team's scores sift out. Stanford 4.5 points behind Arizona State. They are 1 and 2. Now that we're in the third leg of this 4x400 relay, that is for Stanford, Janice Davis, and for Arizona State, Jacqueline Johnson, as if she hasn't run enough events in this weekend. Jackson, JJ, whatever you want to call her, she's doing a great job on the third leg for Arizona State. If they finish this way, the Sun Devils, the Lady Sun Devils, will win the conference championship. Stanford's got to try and do everything they can and hope that USC can come up between them and Arizona State.
And Carol Rodriguez ran a masterful leg for USC and got them back into it. And a 52.7 there for Janice Davis of Stanford on that leg. Very impressive. And 53.4 for Jackie Johnson. That's a heck of a leg for a heptathlete.
So Stanford continuing to lead. Remember, they have a 4.5 point deficit to make up over Arizona State. But if it finishes this way with Arizona State second, Arizona State will hang on to the conference title. They had a huge lead earlier in the meet, but Stanford has chipped away at it. The combination of distance runners and field eventers, and it looks as though Stanford will just come up a little bit too short. Shantae Bain, who was second in the 400-meter hurdles against Latasha Wallace, who won.
Now Bain won the 400 and Wallace was second in the 400-meter hurdles.
And here comes Bain down the finishing stretch. Stanford will win the 4x400 relay, but it's not enough to unseat the Lady Sun Devils of Arizona State. ASU wins the team title at the Pac-10 Conference Championship here at Hayward Field. A great job. Middle distance and distance is what won it for them.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
If you're not working from home, then you're missing out on your share of a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I'm making $5,000 a month. Never thought I'd make this much right out of school.
I actually like what I do now, and I'm making more than ever.
Put your computer to work now.
My goal for next month is $20,000.
Working from home changed my life. This is the one website you have to visit.
I love working from home.
Ready for more money? Start earning extra money yourself by going to this website today. Log on to 39venture.com now.
Delicious pie, Mrs. Jeffers.
Let's get down to brass tacks. We really think your son is a special talent.
He's the kind of kid we're looking for.
We told you about the 800 live college events.
And you know we've got every major conference in the country.
I just wanted to be close to home.
He'll never get off the couch.
You've been watching the Pac-10 Track and Field Championships, brought to you by 76 Quality Pro Clean Gasolines, the official gasoline of the Pac-10 Conference. and by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA and the Pac-10. Proud sponsor of today's Pac-10 Track and Field Championship event. See the all-new Pontiac showroom at your local Pontiac dealer today.
Final event on the track, the men's 4x400 meter relays. Very simple, folks. USC with a 4.5-point lead over Oregon, and then Arizona 10 points out of the lead. So it's Oregon in 2, USC in 5. That is Jeff Garrison, who will lead off the Trojans. And down in lane 2, it's Travis Anderson for the Ducks. If the Ducks win it, USC must finish 4th or lower for Oregon to win the title.
It would be their first one at Hayward Field since 1957, and really the key leg is going to be leg number 2, and Matt Scherer, who won the 400 in that brilliant time of 45:19. He goes up against Philip Francis, who won the 100 and 200. Right now, USC, with Jeff Garrison on the lead leg, must really gap Oregon with Travis Anderson on the lead leg, and that's exactly what's happening now.
Oregon last year at the Pac-10 meet at UCLA came up big in the concluding events and took the team title down there, but it means so much more for them to win it on their home field in front of the 7,100 cheering Duck fans.
And Dwight Oregon, of course, was 3rd at the NC2A Outdoor at 3:00:81, which was a school record and one of the fastest in NCAA history. And here goes Scherer. Scherer took the baton in about 5th place.
Matt Scherer, the winner of the 400 meters. They stay in their lanes through this full turn, then break for the pole. And Scherer already running a brilliant first turn. As we look at USC, that is Philip Francis, who has been busy today. He won the 100 and the 200. How much, as well as running in the 4x100 relay, how much does he have left?
And you can't forget Shane Charles of Washington, who ran the fastest 400-meter hurdles in the collegiate ranks this year. He is now taking over. And Washington, here comes Matt Scherer. Washington was 3rd in the NCAA indoors, and now Scherer making a big move on the outside. As we said, this leg would be the key one. You've got Scherer, you've got Charles, you've got Francis. Between them, they've won 5 events here.
Oregon hands off first. It's Okabundu Okokor. Washington is 2nd. USC hanging in there in 3rd. They have Deshaun Cunningham for the Trojans in 3rd. Remember, if they finish better than 4th, it doesn't matter what Oregon does. They will win the Pac-10 conference title.
And Matt Scherer ran 44.8 on his leg in his 5th race, in this 6th race in this meet.
And this is dangerous. Those batons, they do fly sometimes. Ikwakur on the inside for Oregon, trying to hold off Deshaun Cunningham.
Philip McCary is making a great move for Washington. Again, don't forget, Washington was 3rd in the NCAA indoor in this event. And right now, if it were to end this way, USC would win the team battle. But let's see, Jordan Kent, the 3-sport star for Oregon, getting off very fast.
Final leg, Jordan Kent leading. Washington in 2nd with Bruce Jackson, and USC fine with Lionel Larry in 3rd place. Is a big gap to 4th with UCLA there. If SC, again, finishes 3rd, they will win the title as Larry makes a move on the inside. That is dangerous, and that is gutsy.
And Larry is laying back in 3rd. Dwight, I think Lionel Larry's making his move now. This thing's over. Lionel Larry making a big move here. This will be both the team title for USC and the victory in this event.
USC puts it away with no doubt. They win the 4x400 relay with an incredible final carry by Lionel Larry, who is 3rd in the 400. Jordan Kent does all he can for the Ducks. They will finish 2nd with 8 points, and Washington getting 3rd. And there is Jordan Kent's parents. They were hoping to see a miracle here with Oregon winning it and USC getting 4th or worse. But Ron Alice's USC Trojans, they come prepared. They rise to the occasion, and they win the final event and win the team title here at Hayward Field. A tough feat when you consider the partisan crowd. So exciting finishes on both sides, men's and women's. 6.5 points separating first from second on the men's side, and just 2.5 points separating Arizona State from Stanford on the women's side. Well, of course, championships are about team titles, and USC came in here loaded with sprinters and jumpers and depth for once. They were able to hold off Oregon, who had the partisan crowd on their side. On the women's side, ASU coming in with great distances and throws, ran away and hit, and then Stanford comes up on the last day, almost catches them. Great individual athletes as well, as often is the case at the Pac-10 meet.
Well, I think in Beijing in 2008, you're going to see a few of these athletes. You know, you take a look at what Jackie Johnson did in this meet and the gutty performances by her, Erica McLean winning the long and triple jump for the second year in a row. Robert Chesseret, those 3 wins in the middle distance is just a marvelous performance. And then, of course, Chelsea Johnson's collegiate record in the pole vault. It's rare to get records these days, and that was a terrific one.
And just about 3 weeks to go until the NCAA Championships. We will be seeing a lot of these athletes there. You can bet that. The Pacific 10 Conference, if you're a champion in this conference, you're one of the best in the nation. We'll see a lot of these people at the NCAAs in a few years, and Olympic teams in a few years, World Championship teams as well. For Jim Watson and Tom Fuhrer, the entire FSN crew, I'm Dwight Stones. So long from Hayward Field.